Welcome to George Coll Fine Art. Here, the viewer is encouraged to get outside and paint from life. George's job is to provide the tools to solve the many technical challenges faced in rendering landscape paintings. View the library of landscape paintings offered and become a subscriber. You can also purchase tutorial videos, plus original tutorial and studio paintings. Thank you. And if you like what you see, click the subscribe button and join in on the fun.
Hello and welcome to part 3 of Kebler Ponds. I'm George Coll. Thank you for coming by to finish this painting. So what we concentrated on today was detail. So we got the reflections in the pond and we worked on values in the lower part of the painting to make the horizontals and the verticals come together. And then we finished off, I think, with pine trees to make them warmer. All right, with that, get outside and paint. That is a really good way to learn how to paint. Paint with your friends, get critiques, get another set of eyes on these things. Don't be intimidated to get in front of a canvas. Just, even if you don't feel like it, get in front of it and you'll start painting. All right, enough of me with this coaching. Let's get started and finish this painting. Hello and welcome to part 3 of Kebler Ponds. Okay, so Kebler Ponds, oh boy, there's a lot of work in these little guys. So let's concentrate, I think, on detail today. And of course, when you really look at this thing, we're going to work on making this pond have a reflection of the sky. And we're going to work out some problems in the lower half of the painting. And I'm going to explain how to make pine trees look warm. So let's start with that. Okay. So we have 28 minutes to go, 29 minutes, and let's get started with the water. So with the water, there's you can see from the reference on your upper right, is that there's a reflection of the bank here and in here, I think also in here. So we're going to start there, and so let's get some sort of a green in here that's going to work for us. We're going to get some of this dark viridian, gray viridian maybe even. I'm going to add a little bit of raw sienna to it. Too much. Let's go back to the green, and let's add just a little bit of yellow ochre. Yellow ochre, yellow ochre, and a little bit more raw viridian here. Oh, that's a beautiful color. But I think the value is too dark. And we're going to have to lighten that up just a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit of white to it from the slosh pile. Here's a clean white, and here's the leftover white from the previous. And let's see what that does. Still need some more green in this. We're going to get some emerald in here. Emerald. And that's a gambling color. Just ran out of it, so I better squeeze some more out. When I'm not taping, I told you guys before, I spend probably as much time mixing or more than I do applying. Okay, I think that has the right combination. So I'm going to use a number 2 flat. And start laying it in. And I'm going to put some here. and here, and here. And I'm going to go back with a darker color, green, blue, transparent oxide red. And it's a dark. And I'm going to reinforce some darks on the bank here. And see how that has a really nice, it distinguishes the water from the reflection. All right. Now in the sky, what we used was, I think, well, I know, we use Sevres blue, and we use some white, so we use some slop white here. Slop. And let's go with some, just some clouds, I think here. And a few up in here. And let's get some Sevres now and put that in between. So pretty simple. No time for panic. I need a little bit of it in here. A little bit more blue. And let's finish off down here. That looks like a reflection. Boy, are we lucky today. I'm going to get a little bit more. As I step back just there, I see that I need a little bit more emerald in here to liven it up. That's maybe a little too much. Maybe. That's perfect right there. And maybe I should go in there with a little bit more light. Maybe just a little bit more light. Perfect. Perfect. Let's get a little bit of light in. Now, these are not, the back ponds really are not as bright as the foreground pond, but I'm making it that way so we can tell that, give a little bit more insight to the viewer that back here is water. Now, I know there's water here because I was there, and the reflection of the bank being at a steep angle doesn't really show the water. And I'm going to do just a tad, just a touch right in here. And maybe back in here. Just enough. And maybe, just maybe, something right in here. And here. Just little touches of water. These flat areas that the beavers take over, they kind of flood all the little channels and make channels. Okay, now it's time for trees. Let's go in here. I have a troubled area right here. See it? It just doesn't tell the story. And I'm going to, when I look at it, there's trees and slopes. And so I'm going to make some green colors here. So I'm going with this cad yellow light. A little bit of blue mixed in there. So we have a dark and a light. And I'm going to get that extra emerald and strengthen that up a little bit. And you see, if you have some strong emerald, it can bring in some light on top of bushes. And boy, doesn't that add to the ambiance of this painting. Oh boy, that's nice stuff. Now, what you can do with this light yellow is make this is kind of a nice bright base color down in here. To say light. And more light down here in flatland here. And here. Now to the viewer's eye that all looks green, but you get up close, there's a lot of yellow in this area here. So I want to go back to kind of a green. I'm going to get some regular viridian green, and accent some, I mixed it into this darker green we had to kind of say we have some bases of bushes here. And here. And maybe even up in here. And then we're going to run in some lights around it. So that would be this lighter color. And I need some darker colors in there too. Darker values. And I'm getting this idea, this darker stuff, just looking at the reference. And I want to get so that it's kind of like the base of these, whatever they are in there, look like pine trees or some sort of shrubbery. And now we're going to go in with this lighter green, the medium green that we just made. And then we'll go in with some really nice light stuff. It's kind of a bluey green. And then we're going to go in now with kind of a base color, which would be right here, to kind of say, hey, this is slope here, here, and here. See how that really helps out with describing what's going on here. So I had that troubled area. I didn't have anything in it, and now that tells a story. And I'll even put in a few more extra darks. And I think that more or less tells a good little place right in here. And I think we put in something right in here too. So you say, well, you're just kind of making this stuff up. And what I'm also thinking, well, yes, but what I see in the reference is a good solid anchor of dark over here in the lower right. And I want to make sure I get that because it's important. Now you have this big dominant guy and these, it's like a musical score here. And then you have these lighter notes as you go back with this undertone of the water that's nice and soothing. And so yeah, we got some good stuff going on here. So I'm going to go back to the lighter stuff now. I think I need to get some yellow in here, some white, and bring that into my tree. Got to get a little bit more green in it. See how I just went into the green that was next to it and stole it. A little bit more emerald in here, please. A little bit more emerald. And brought that in. Now, what I'm going to do next is start putting some background colors coming through the trees just by getting these little background lights coming through. And this guy could use some too. Now I want to get in and warm up these trees next. I think what I've learned from some of my heroes, I hate to mention names, but Scott Christensen can really do some great warmth in trees. So we're going to do that with some yellow ochre and some dark viridian, yellow ochre, cad yellow medium, and some transparent oxide red. So it's a nice, almost an olive color that, and you see how I'm just using this, this is a really nice new brush. So it's not flared out, and it's doing, just distributing some of this really nice warm color onto these trees. And by God, you know, with all this green, we need some warm in here. One of my students, Jan, she would just go, oh my God, another green painting. During COVID, we did Zoom about 3 times a week with about 2 or 3 people. And basically we're doing what we're doing right now, learning how to paint. And I remember her comments when we had another green painting. I had to have the wrath of Jan. Okay, I'm going to get back and see if I don't overbalance it. Throw it off. Okay, with this color, we're also going to really rack a few of them up with some really strong. Like here I'm going to go in here and really whack a few right in there, very strong. And I'll do it particularly on the tops of some of these, so they still show up with that darker background. Now I'm picking up some contamination on my brush, because we are working on wet paint. So with this sharp brush, I'll see if I can lighten up this color we just have here and get some verticals in these trees. What I mean by that is just like some trunks that tell the story a little bit more of what's going on. Oh, this is fun stuff at this stage. Now if you overdo it, I'll show you what to do. We can always come back and fix it. So we always kind of need some darker fellas falling off to one side, maybe some diagonals, some obvious places. I think I'm doing pretty good without getting the rigger up. So let me just get this. What is this thing? That's a 278 that's really worn out. It's a very small brush. I'm going to see what I can do with this, or if this doesn't work, I'll go back to that really sharp new brush I have. So I'm just going to put some, just not doing the trick, is it? Let me get a little bit more dark in here. Not too much, just a little bit. That's not doing it. But verticals are good if you don't overdo it. So I'm going to go back in here with my sharp edge brush and see if I can get some nice things just running off into there. And if it's not working, just come back and whack it out of there. Some work, some don't. Going back with this really nice bright stuff to lighten up this painting. Getting back is a good thing, particularly at every stage of the painting, but particularly now, to say, am I overdoing something? I really like the worms I've introduced here. And I'm going to take a look. I've got 8 whole minutes. This is so much fun at this stage. There's a lot of interesting little things going on in here. And I'm going to work even more into it. And over in here. Now there's some really nice, interesting greens going on in some of these dark areas. And I'm going to put some in here. Because I can. And that makes for a stronger painting. And on the edge here, these strong greens. And I'm going to put some of these strong greens in here too. This has something to do with Viridian and Emerald. And that does a great job also. What I see here in the reference is a dark I can take advantage of. I'm going to do a blue, Viridian, dark Viridian, or my gray Viridian. And see, there's a nice dark here. And over here is a nice So I'm trying to get established. So I'll give him the warm treatment also. Warms. I don't know if I have enough dark in him. Let me get a little bit more dark. And I'll run a dark off to the side. And then I'll get some of those warms that we've been using. Now I'll break them up with some edges of yellow coming in. That's nice. Got a big space, put something in it. Whew. Need a little bit more green in here. This mixture of green I have has really helped out. This it has emerald, has a little bit of viridian in it, has some white. And you can see it really stands out and makes its presence known. And then sometimes you love something so much you can love it to death, so you can come back and tone her down just a little bit with the surrounding colors. And I'm bringing some of these colors up to soften these darks back there. I think I need some darks right in here to tell what needs to be told. Oh, it's really a cute painting. I need to tell people what this is, so I'm going to go in with my lighters, base color, and then get some of that nice green on it. And I need some darks in it too. And back to that nice bright green, put some of that in there. And we have room for just a little bit of Sevres here to show, hey, we got a side channel here. Down at the bottom of the painting. So here you have a painting that has a lot of interest all over the place, texture, a lot of warmth. And now I'm going to go in with some really, really light yellow ochre. So I'm going to go yellow ochre and Naples, even warmer. I'm going to get some olive in there. And get it on some side of some trees here. Maybe tell a little bit more where this tree is going and where this one's going. I think it's getting confused with the upper tree, so I'll make a break between the two and get back with some darks inside these trees with some blue and gray-green. Let's break up this strong line right there. Looking at where my reference, the things need to be broken up, these lines. Strong line here, so we'll break it, and send some up. And again, balance with dark here. To say, hey, this is some pine trees here. All right, I've got to get ready for that dinger. 1 minute and 23 seconds, okay. Time to get back and figure out where we're going to sign this thing. I'll probably do it lower right or maybe over in here. But it's just too obvious over there. I don't like to blast my name out. I like to, I'm so lucky to have a simple last name to print. Get a little red in here too. Kind of a red-green. And see if I can do something that says who the artist is without taking too much attention away from the painting. And I think we did it. Okay, I better stop or I'm going to be dinged. So I'm going to stop the timer with 25 seconds left and look at this. Oh, that was fun. I really like part 3 because we just kind of get some small brushes and work on all this detail stuff. Thank you so much for coming by for this painting. I'll tell you, this was fun. Kebler Ponds. And I really liked how everything came together today in the 3rd session. All right. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy doing this painting as much as I have. All right.